Hello again, my friends. How are we all doing? How are we all doing here? I think I'm going to. Didn't send out an email this morning about this. Um, got a little hung up. Was doing some cool stuff, so apologies about that. Hopefully, we have some people in the house. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. I will also start by kind of sharing some links and doing a couple things here just to kind of go over some things. Cool stuff happening. Cool stuff. I'm excited to explain it and share with you guys here. Let me share this one here real quick. And also, I can just share my screen too right off the bat. Curtis, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it, brother. One day Restream will allow me to make my face bigger on this. This is so small. I can't even. There's just no other good way. But I'm in talks with them. I believe in them. So all good on hearing and seeing. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. What's up, Andre? Good to see you, brother. All right. So some quick housekeeping. We'll dive into this cool little thumbnail that I put together for this live stream. This little thing here. So I put out a poll on X, and we'll go over and we'll talk about that because I feel like that's a fun thing to do. But just right off the bat, first thing today was I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I'll drop it in there. This is my blueprint for like 2024, 2025 on like the things that I'm using. So there's a bunch of tools in there. That's not even the whole thing in this thumbnail here. Those are just like all the icons for everything that I use on WordPress websites. But I was happy with that video. Um, People have been asking me to make a blueprint video for a long time, and I just for some reason never did. So it's kind of funny. But glad it's out there now. Also, this one, I think people enjoyed this one, so I'm super happy that Hans, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Termageddon's in that video, right there, that blueprint video. That's fire. So appreciate you guys. Sponsor of the channel, Termageddon. Exciting stuff. We got this video over here from this bricks conditions too. If you guys missed that one, if you use bricks, um, again, just really interesting things. I really appreciate the feedback too. I want to make that clear kind of in these live streams. Like I really love the feedback because, as somebody who's trying to create like educational and somewhat entertaining content here, I have like a full list now. I could talk about that too at some point today if we want to, because like I tried to simplify. I actually made some zeets. I don't know what they're called. Maybe just posts, but I made some posts on X recently, and I was kind of trying to go through and show the progression of the things that I've been doing. And I just have a tendency to overcomplicate the fuck out of things, and I don't like doing that. So I had these task lists for like personal, and then like my MJS Szymanski media stuff, and then like my agency stuff. And I'm just like, there's no need for all this. So I just kind of condensed it down into literally like today and then longer term, right? Like today and task pool. It's worked so much better. And then for all of the like the sponsor tracking, the content tracking, everything like that, I'm using Notion. I didn't want to use Notion because I didn't want to go crazy, but I've tried to refrain from over uh, optimizing that. And it's actually worked really well. If you guys have never used Notion, maybe I'll make some videos at some point. But there's couple little cool automation things you can do in there. It's awesome. So yeah, hell yeah, Hans is excited. Woo, like that. Hell yeah, Nick. Like the video. Drop the likes. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, so we talked about blueprint video, that bricks video. I want to do more there. I was going to make a point there. The feedback. Gotten some great feedback on some of those videos. If there's anything you guys want to see specifically, let me know. A lot of times what happens to me, just being completely honest, is that I make a video on something and then there's like a question that's related but like hard to kind of create a scenario for. So this is just a general recommendation. If you have a question, put like either maybe a link. Sometimes you can't post links, but like just like in like a specific example or somewhere that I can see exactly what you're talking about. Because I'm absolutely fine with on a live stream or on a video like recreating a similar situation. I would actually love that because I'm trying to create real world like value for people, and not just like fake theoretical shit. And I know that you guys are out there in the field all the time building websites for people, and you're running into things like How do I, if I have a grid, I literally got this one, after that events video. How I have a grid of events. How do I hide the ones that are over? You know what I mean? Like, because it's dates and like the date is past. How do I hide that? I've done that many times, but I haven't like made a video on it specifically because I hadn't gotten that question. But also there's some nuance to that. It's like, are you actually in a query? Are you just like putting random events like on a page? Like, you know, so because the video that I made nuanced here, but that wasn't the exact same thing. Um, that was more like utilizing the bricks conditions rather than like a query loop. We're getting into the weeds a little bit there, but that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Is I'm happy to make that types of content. We just have to know kind of like what you guys need, and I'm happy to do it. So let me quit out of this pop-up thing that keeps coming up. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right. Let me go over to main thing I want to talk about today is I want to show you guys a couple things. I have a couple notes in my Notion board, whatever the hell you guys call this. I don't even know. I made that X poll. Obviously, I don't really want to like go deep into like WordPress drama because I feel like we're kind of like slightly past it as a community per se, but I have to talk about it because I just there's just too many things that happen that I see from day to day, and then it's like if I don't talk about this, then I'm gonna feel like annoyed that I didn't talk about it, and I'm like not gonna have other people's opinions to either, you know, reinforce or to you know, counteract what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling like when I go through all these different things. So there's just there's a lot of thoughts. So let's see if we can unpack some of them. Let me pause that. Okay, so let me get you guys some links up here and then we'll talk. Cool. Let's go over here. Lovely. All right, so the thing that kind of sparks some of my thought process is anytime that I'm on calls with people, if I see stuff on X, if I see stuff anywhere, and this was a call. I would encourage you guys to go watch this. Again, kudos heavily to Ann McCarthy for putting together the YouTube call. I'm gonna set the scene for you guys because I think this is important. If you guys care about the WordPress community and if you guys care about the direction in which we're going and all that sort of stuff, and I am by no means like an authority on this. I'm just somebody that that is commenting on it and is involved in it, like is in the thing, but not, you know, like I don't really have like a lot of, you know, pull, so to speak. I'm just a creator and a person that's giving their thoughts on the internet, I guess. So to set the scene, what was it? September, third week of September, WordCamp US. All the people in that video that are linked there, not all of them, but most of them, like I literally met in person at WordCamp US in Portland. And it previously, before, if we back up a second, there was, you know, the YouTuber community. Here's the thing. The YouTuber community of WordPress, I feel like, is so many talented people doing awesome things, right? And they're either educating or they're building and then like kind of educating, or they're exploring. I kind of like to say that I'm exploring because I don't know what the, you know, like I'm always just trying to like explore different things. But a lot of really talented people, right? And this is an amazing group, and I think that there's so much potential to be kind of like extracted, so to speak, from it, because you have all these people with intentions in mind. Their intentions are similar. They want to make money from content. That is absolutely an intention, but they also want to like create value. They want to create value for the audience. You can't really make money from an audience or from, you know, your content without providing value. I mean, like you're just not going to have a following. You're not going to have any viewership. You're not going to have any of that. So that's the goal, right? And then we have had a couple YouTuber calls. They've been good. We had a WordCamp US, obviously, literal like nuclear fallout basically since then, in a lot of ways. And it's been kind of crazy just, you know, seeing kind of the slight exodus with a lot of different like people and all that sort of stuff. And not just in the group, I'm just saying in broader WordPress because of all the events that have taken place. And you've seen it. If you've been on X at all in the last, what is it, like 2-ish months now, or like, I don't know, 8-9 weeks, you know, there's a lot that has happened there, right? So you jump into something like this, and to set the scene with this specific YouTuber call here, this is our first one back because we didn't have one last month. This is our first one back since that time, and there was no mention of that, which is understandable to a degree, I guess. But I just urge you guys to go watch that video because I was literally on that call, and Matthias, the lead of Gutenberg, the Gutenberg project, was giving some insights and answers on like themes and things like that, and like the process and the direction for full site editing and the direction for Gutenberg, and the one Jamie asked a very poignant question because he put a poll up on X recently, or a question or anything, and it was like, should we have one theme moving forward in FSE? And it's like, I think most people agree with that, and I don't, and I just didn't really fully understand kind of the answers, and kind of like some of the direction that I was hearing. And I'm not trying to criticize. I'm just trying to like again maybe through you guys, like internalize what I'm hearing and trying to understand it. And I think the big thing that happens is a lot of times most people in this space that are trying to create businesses and make money for themselves building websites, we're thinking in terms of like almost like a general for-profit business. And the decisions that seem to be made are like kind of, they don't seem like they're the exact same when it comes to like the WordPress.org project and in general, and like Gutenberg. And it just creates a lot of, it's not bad, but it's just a lot of friction, it seems like, between like people that are having the ideas, executing on ideas, and people that are like utilizing and doing that type of thing. And it's always met with like, well, why don't you just contribute? And it's just that part to me is kind of getting a little tiring because I do go on the calls and I do talk and I do like try to understand and I do try to ask questions and I do try to educate. So yeah, I don't know. So that was one of the things, right? So that was an interesting call. I would highly encourage you guys to go watch that. Obviously, love the initiative in general. Love that these things are being made public because they should be. So that's amazing. And we can just continue to get better because everybody has access to the information and to the meetings, those types of meetings and things like that. That said, that prompted me, that amongst just like other things in general, and like over the course of the last few months, has prompted me to kind of create a just a simple poll, okay? And on X. Now, this is not, I don't have millions of followers, okay? That's not the case. And I don't have and we can question the reach or whatever, but apparently 485 people watched this. You can see this obviously on the thumbnail of this video. And the question was simple. I am blank on WordPress, and it's bullish or bearish. If you're not familiar with bullish or bearish, it's like kind of like a stock term, like company term, like, bullish is like you're kind of optimistic. Bearish is you're pessimistic, so to speak. Like you want it to go, you think it's going to go up or down. These answers, these results of this are, I mean, again, small sample size, 65 people, but like it's basically split. and and I mean, again, we're on X here. I don't think you can run a poll from your profile on Facebook, and I'm not sure really where else. I mean, we could possibly go to Blue Sky. There's a lot of WordPress people on there now, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, this is a small sample size. It's just kind of like interesting to see this. And if you guys are here, if you voted in this, if you want to give your thoughts, I'd love to hear them in the chat and everything like that. But this is just like, the thing I can't wrap my head around is us not being like honest with the things that are going on. And I think that because of recent events, like people have been more honest and like open about these things. I just don't like not talking about elephants in rooms. You know what I mean? Like this is something that like is concerning. There's again, small sample size, but like people are concerned about like kind of the direction, those types of things and all that sort of stuff. And it's hard that we can't really have like a good conversation and an open conversation and a respectful conversation with people that are like kind of like making those decisions. And again, I'm trying to like be as generous as possible to all this because I do really appreciate the work of everybody involved, but I'm also trying to like actually potentially affect some sort of something here. I just can't, like, as somebody that's a user of this, has created content on and everything like that. I'll be honest, like almost like selfishly, I'm saying, how do you, and I'll drop this in here if you guys haven't voted in this, but how do you, it comes down to a different topic for me. Okay, let me try to explain it a different way. There are so many people that build their stuff on a platform and on WordPress. They literally invest into this platform, which again, huge um huge amount of gratitude for everything that Matt Mullenweg and the WordPress, the people that have contributed to the WordPress project have given essentially for free. I am not overlooking that. At the same time, though, you can hold that opinion and also be like, I'm a little concerned about X, Y, and Z and those types of things. And it's just like, I feel like it's like it never leaves. And I don't know if it's because I'm just in this space a lot and so it never leaves like kind of my mind or whatever. But I'm thinking again, something like you have a big event like this, in the last month or so, and it's not done, by the way. Like, I mean, I'm like, I've seen multiple different like things, like court documents and stuff like that, or whatever they're called, like, the allegations and everything like that. I think, and Matt said on a, I can't remember which outlet it was on, but he said, I think it was during that TechCrunch thing, maybe, but it was like, was it 25, 26 or something? I can't remember what year, like this could, if it goes like the full thing, it could be, held up in court, so to speak, or, whatever, what I mean? Like the processing could take that long. So what I'm saying is, I feel like we've transcended a little bit. We've transcended past like FSE is like, people don't like FSE. People don't like the block editor. Okay, that's one thing. That's technical, whatever. We've transcended past that, and it's more like there's so many other things that are like kind of concerning, and they're concerning in the sense not that they're like they become real world, real person issues. Like if you're building your business off of a platform that you feel is kind of like unstable, or if you're an investor and you're considering investing into a platform or something built on that platform, and you see it as unstable, that's like a real world consequence. We're not talking about like whether I have to fucking group shit on a block editor anymore, or like, versus like stack it, or, there's no classes or anything. Like that's one thing. This is like, it feels to me, it's my feeling, all my opinions, please, counteract these if you don't feel this way. It just feels like that's where we've kind of gotten to. And I'm not saying that I'm like 100% bearish. That's not where I'm at. I would say like I'm like if I was in the middle, I'm like slightly to the bearish side. I'm still optimistic because there's still a ton of people with great work and like open source and all that sort of stuff. It's just I can't not talk about these things because I think that not talking about them is just kind of like slightly irresponsible. Now, am I the right person to talk about it? I don't fucking know. Probably not. Like I'm not really of any impact for this, but it's just something interesting to talk about to me, honestly. Because again, I'll reiterate this too. One, I like to talk, that. But two, I see myself as somebody that has a journey ahead of them, whether it's solely in WordPress and other things and what have you. I'm always trying to learn from these experiences, and if I had any recommendation to any of you guys, it would be the same thing. Try to learn from these types of things. Try to like experience, like learn from these experiences, your own mistakes, other people's mistakes, or just things in general, and be like, just put the stuff in your mind. Like put the history of what has happened and the events and everything like that into your mind, and be like, how did it make you feel? What do you think happened? And then ultimately, as time goes on, what was the result of those actions or that situation or whatever? And then if you have a situation or you see another situation later on in your life, hopefully you can kind of, call back to that, so to speak, and make a better decision for yourself ultimately, or for the people around you, or what have you. Getting a little meta there, but I do think it's all pertinent. It's all relevant because this is just a crazy, interesting situation where small sample size, half the people are kind of bearish. And I wish I would have ran this poll, a similar poll. I wish I would have ran a similar poll like like months ago to see where it was at in the comparison for now. But it's just a strange time to be in this space. And the last point on this, and then I'm going to go check out some of the comments here because I've seen them on my peripheral. The last thing is I would just a recommendation. I don't even know if I want to call it a recommendation. It's just something that I'm doing. I'm trying to diversify a little bit. I talked about this last week as a little bit of a unplanned pre-conversation to this. I am not leaving WordPress, okay? I am voicing actual concerns that I know other people have, okay? Regardless of if people don't think they're concerns or not, they're concerns. People have them. The people feelings are valid, right? I don't fucking, right? So this is the pre-conversation last week was kind of like me thinking internally, man, as a content creator, as a leader of a household, as somebody that needs to, make money just from in general, create a living and things like that. How do I ensure that I'm not going to get basically screwed over by any one specific platform in any way? I'm not saying that you're going to. I'm just saying how do I risk mitigate as much risk as possible? And for me, maybe it's different for you, but for me, it is to not put all of my eggs into one basket, no matter how large that basket, that egg, I guess, that egg or that basket, I don't know, is, okay? So that's what I'm thinking. That's my mindset. I don't think I'm not innovating with that mindset. That's not a new thing. I'm just telling you what I'm trying to do. For me specifically, I'm leaning heavily into the content side of things. And like I said last week, the AI and the automation thing are two things that really speak to me. And I know that they're going to be big moving into the future. Because honestly, we could have a separate discussion about this, but the internet is bound to change again. You know what I mean? The way we communicate, the way that we interact, the way that we work is bound to continue to evolve and change. And I hope for WordPress's sake, for everyone's sake, that everyone is kind of keeping that mentality at least somewhere, in their mind, and keeping that at an arm's length, so to speak, as far as their thought processes on how they do things and how they move forward. So, lot there. It was a long chat there. Let's see what we got here as far as comments goes. John, hey Mark, I finished watching your last video, and you did a very good job explaining everything. Would you consider making a video of how to set up Vultr? Yeah, I mean, definitely. I have some interesting news that I've gotten recently, kind of about Vultr and just kind of hosting in general, and trying to wrap my mind around everything, because there's a large conversation to be had there, specifically in the WordPress space around hosting, which we could talk about in subsequent lives and videos. I will definitely note that on my Notion board now for my content video planner stuff, setting up Vultr. High level though, just to give you something, is I'm trying to recall how I set up Vultr. And if we're talking set up Vultr in the context of grid pane, because that's how I did it, it was literally just get a Vultr account, click create API key or whatever, and then put that API key into grid pane, and then provision a server through them. And it just does it all via just API, and then you just have it in both places. And I think maybe you pay Vultr directly, so you have the money, you have your card in over there or whatever. Yeah, I mean, if there's something more specific to that, John, I could definitely look into it. But yeah, just from what I've done so far, to be clear, I purchased directly from Vultr, but I haven't actually done too much over there. I did change some settings once I had them set up, but the actual provisioning of the server kind of went through GridPane via API, as I remember. But I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Thank you so much. Nick says, told you WP Engine would use that Automattic site of WP customers leaving and list of WP sites as evidence in their court case. Yeah, that's funny. Is that still alive? Is that, let me see if that's, let me go over here. WordPress Engine Tracker. Whoa. What the fuck? Okay. All right. So I'm honestly gonna give you a hot take right here. And this is, I'm gonna give you a hot take. Okay. All right. Okay, I gotta compose myself here. Hang on a second. I'm gonna give you a hot take here, and you may like it, you may hate it. Okay. and I'm gonna utilize this as like, this is what I think and this is what I feel, but this is also, I know that this is what a lot of people feel. Like I just know that. And you can like you can agree with that or you can disagree with it, please, either one. But I just know that a lot of people feel like this. Let me walk you through this from a public opinion and a marketing, like, so to speak, perspective, as I believe it to be. Okay, you have a project that has objectively been slow as shit to like continue to get developed. I'm not criticizing. I'm not trying to criticize the people that are doing hard work. I'm just saying, like, it's been a while and we're not where a lot of people think we should be from a development of like Gutenberg. Let's just high level, okay? Gutenberg being owned by Automattic WordPress project. Okay. Then you have something like this that has already been worked on twice. It was built and then it was redesigned. Something this fucking stupid, like this, like petty, has been redesigned in a 1 to 2 month period. So much so that you have like a live ticker of every single website that has recently moved. It's like, this stuff right here is the reason that people get pissed off, okay? I'm not trying to be like, how could you possibly think that this is a good idea? Like, it, again, I will say exactly what I said the first time. This is a really cool idea. I'm tired of like cool ideas though. And I think a lot of people are tired of like cool ideas. This is just like annoying as shit that it's like, wow, this, like, here, I'll give you a quick example. Okay, wow, we spent time, and I'm gonna get to why this is a mind fuck for a lot of people. Okay, I'm doing some psychological breakdowns here. We spent all this time, however much time this took, to redesign this thing that is just a petty play for this WP Engine stuff. Again, cool idea though. I will say, I'm not gonna stop saying it's a cool concept, cool idea. But we spent the time to do this when we could have like done a litany of other things, like put some fucking breakpoints in the block editor or something like that. Like anything, any litany of things that we always get told to go into, GitHub and put tickets in. We spent time doing this. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm not trying to get super emotional about it. I'm just confused at this point. But this, I understand there's probably different teams. There's a lot of, I'm just talking basically myself here and you guys, right? So there's a lot of details that I'm probably not, that are probably misfound, that are not like completely one-to-one. The team that works on this site, I don't know who did this. It's probably some person that's probably not exactly completely, core, or, a part of the WordPress thing, the WordPress.org project. I get that. Okay. Maybe we're conflating the two. If that is the case, that's another problem in and of itself though. Okay. So that's a separate thing that we've created this, it has been created for us that there is too much of a blurred line and a blurred image there. That's not a good thing. Okay. But the fact that like Automattic owns WordPress, there's all of that confusion there around that. That's kind of been a little bit uncovered and understood now. But the fact that the parent company of WordPress, like Automattic, has their name on something like this that has changed twice in the last month, and also runs the WordPress.org thing. I'm not saying, again, those people are like working on this. It's just like, that is mind numbing. And you have to understand that like somebody like me and most of you guys in this chat, we're in this, so we kind of understand a little bit more of the nuance. Could you imagine think about this, okay? Think about if you wanted to spin this shit, how easy it would be to spin this shit to an average person, okay? It's like, how do we not think about that? How do we not think about that as a large corporation? How do we not think about how easy it would be to spin this to a small like a small business person or whatever, and just be like, WP Engine can be like, hey, they're actually wasting their time. They're wasting their time doing this silly site right here. They're actually not making their product any better. Why would you want to do XYZ with them? I'm theory crafting a thing there. I'm just like making that up. That's so easy. It took me 2 seconds. I'm not like even a skilled marketer. It's just kind of crazy to me. Me going onto this website and seeing this already being redesigned is just like, Unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable that this thing is already, that this thing has already been changed up, and we don't have breakpoints. I know, again, I know the same people aren't working on it. I'm talking optics, okay? It's crazy. All right. Anyway, I'm glad we brought that up. But yeah, Nick, to go back to it, yeah, Nick, I mean, if I was WP Engine, I'm absolutely, if they haven't already, absolutely doing that. Can you put a poll on YouTube community tab? I think I actually can. I'll do another one. That was a good idea. David Doss, I'm here long enough to understand that everything will be fine. There will be some changes, but the dust will settle. We had a fair share of drama before this. I mean, again, I've heard that as well. I do. The one thing I would slightly push back on there though is that I'm not trying to fearmonger with this. Okay. There is a limit. You know what I mean? Like there's a limit. Like there's a limit to everything. Like nothing. You can't just like have unlimited drama forever, and it's never going to be better. Like there's definitely a limit. There's also a limit to just like in general, kind of. I feel like the how the how the community feels, how it all operates, how the vision is. Simply put, as just simply put. I think that there's a limit to how much time and energy people can put into things when they're spread out across different things. Okay? This is not a critique of Matt Mullenweg. Dude is probably 500 million times more wealthy than I am and successful. I'm just saying something. Like, just by the nature of time, if you are spending 5 minutes on X, you are losing 5 minutes at Y generally, right? So if there's any sort of semblance of a vision or any sort of time devoted to those things, then you are kind of losing time on the other things. That's just my opinion there. I hope it's fine. I haven't been here long enough to live through all those other things. I've just heard them, so I didn't get the actual feeling of being there and the actual real world experience. But that would just be my perspective on that. But I appreciate that perspective 100%. Everyone should always diversify. Was that in reference to the last? I think I might have lost. I'm a little bit behind on that. Domain is owned by Automattic. Yeah. Wow, it is not even built with WordPress. What the fuck? Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Not a good look. Yeah, what is it? What is it built with? Is it just like? I know you can't see this right now. Yeah, I'm not getting too much on the Wappleizer, but is it just like kind of hand coded in a way? Or maybe like a React or something? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy. Toby, what's up? What's up? Thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate you. Brennan's response or Dividas. Do you think this is more major drama development than previous dramas, Thesis, GoDaddy, etc.? And will this one have wider implications? Yeah, I mean that would be my question too as well. Again, that's a good insight. That like everything will be okay. I hope, like I said, I hope everything feels more severe when you're in it, obviously. So there's definitely what's it called? There's definitely a bit of that here, but just crazy. I gotta take this website off out of my view. I was still staring at that WordPress engine tracker. That's unbelievable. Curtis says wealthy and goofy as heck. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm just so mixed on the whole situation. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm so mixed on the whole situation. Like I totally see multiple sides. I always try to empathize with everything. I always try to like get as much data as I can reasonably get while still actually making money and doing our thing. Because the worst thing that we could do is like get caught up fully in this type of shit, which I was for a little bit of time. You may think that I am now. I'm much less now. But you can't get so caught up because, I don't know about you guys, but I still need to make fucking money, So it's like I have to do shit to make money because we're dealing with people that have like hundreds of millions of dollars. And I say that in a sense, not because I'm criticizing people for making money. I'm not that person. I just think that like their priorities are different, right? At different levels. So, I do think that there's a level of it like there's so much respect that I have for Matt Mullenweg and so many other people for what they do, what they've achieved in success, and I see myself trying to get to those types of levels. I haven't put numbers on it, but you know what I mean? Like try to get, be more successful and do those types of things. But at the same time, you can't, it just goes back to what I said. It's like, I think I would totally be different if I was in those, if I was at those types of levels, but how would I feel? How do I feel now? Right. And how would I feel then? I can't really predict how I'd feel then, but I could predict how somebody like me in this position would feel now. And it's like, how can I just, when I'm in that, if I'm ever in that position, even not at that scale, like how would you feel? How do the people below you kind of feel, so to speak? And how can you remember that? You know what I mean? Like keep that in your mind, that feeling in your mind that you had, so that it's a real meta thing. Like when you're at that point, you're like, okay, well, I remember how I felt when I was like, a little small timer. Like let's not completely, make their lives hell or do whatever. And I'm not saying necessarily it's happening. I'm just saying like, it's a meta thing that I'm getting from this whole situation. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with a lot of that. I had some other notes. Where's my Notion thing? Okay, we talked about the YouTuber meeting. We talked about the poll. Obviously, we talked about just generally kind of the lawsuits and stuff. I don't. There's probably more shit that's came out. Let me see if there's anything quick. I know I saw something. I don't know, guys. I want to talk about like WordPress and like using WordPress more. I mean, I think that these things are important to talk about, but using WordPress, but also, honest to God, like even more like AI, automation, those types of tooling, because I think those are going to be the real thing that ends up getting you to the next level. I'm gonna give you another hot take here that is again predicated by last week. I really do think that the internet and the world is going to continue to change, just like it has been to this point, but it's going to continue to change. And I don't feel like sitting here like watching, just like sitting here only being blinders on to WordPress is going to be the play. I would go so far to say as I'm certain that it's not, because it's not like, I'm not saying it's going anywhere. I'm just saying like if you want to, it depends on your goals. If you want to be like on the cutting edge and go next, like go to the next thing, it's probably something else. It's probably not intrinsic design. It's probably AI assisted building websites, virtual reality, augmented reality, like that type of way. Automation for an unbelievable amount of things. AI created content. So that's where my mind's at. I'm not saying it's where your guys' mind needs to be. Just as another example, this tweet here where Matt Mullenweg retweeted Gutenberg is gonna be bigger, even bigger than WordPress. I don't know Akai. Apologies if I said that wrong. This is really cool right here, that you can put a piano and like a little beat thing inside of the block editor. That's really cool, and you can like interact and play with it. My response to this was like, I reposted and I was like, hey, client says, forget the slider. I want a playable piano on my homepage. So again, people are not going to like the response to this, but I'm going to give it anyway. So when you see something like this is another one of those like public opinion optics thing. When you see something like this, there's a lot of things that I personally, extract from this, and your view on this might be totally different. I'd love to hear it. So the first thing has to be said, and it is the most important thing, that to do I could not do something like this. Okay, I don't know how to do this. Maybe I could ask Claude to help me. But I don't know how to do this. So, Akai, I apologize if I apologize. However, apologize for the pronunciation. Fantastic work. This is incredible. Okay, amazing. Not about building that. What it is kind of about, though, is what I abstract from this is like Gutenberg will be even bigger than WordPress. If I'm a WordPress user, I'm like slightly confused by that, even though I kind of know what he means. Like Gutenberg is something that you could like do elsewhere. I actually think that this, I'm not trying to super analyze this tweet, but I actually think that this doesn't even really make sense. This is in the block editor and in Gutenberg. So, I mean, I guess if we took that out of there and we used it on something else, which, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't like Drupal or somebody use Gutenberg and then they was like, now this sucks. We're going back to something else. But the concept is like interesting, okay? Because if this is the concept, then for me, it's like I'm reading super between the lines here. But if I read this, again, optics, it's like Gutenberg is going to be bigger than WordPress. Okay, fine. Well, then why am I stuck in WordPress? Why are we talking about WordPress? Like, is Gutenberg the thing that's going to be like, kind of like if you had a rocket ship and that's WordPress, and then the booster rocket falls off and that's actually WordPress, and the thing that keeps going to the moon is Gutenberg? Is that kind of the scenario that we're talking about here? If it is, I actually don't care. Just tell me. You know what I mean? And maybe that has been clear, but I haven't gotten that. So that's just the first thing that I read into this. But the second thing that I read into this is like, again, these types of things are amazing and are cool. I would just say that like I don't think that an interactive piano is like the thing that's like driving people to like want to build more websites and to make more money with this space and in this industry and with these tools. I'm not saying don't build a fucking piano. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just like understanding like the people that are like in this space of like, hey, we are trying to use this tool. We want to make it better. We have actual like simple issues that we are running into all the time. You know, nothing to do with Akai here, okay? The developer that's taking care of this. I'm just trying to give you some perspective from how I see it optically and how I know a lot of other people see it. Incredible work, okay? Very cool. I'm just trying to take micro instances of things and try to like blow them up to more of the macro and think of like, how are we actually like perceiving all of these little small things here and there and on all that stuff. That's what I'm trying to do. You can totally disagree with me if you don't think that that's a good idea. Response to that one there, it is more major and there will be some changes for sure, but with every drama there was also positive change following it. I wasn't here for those, but I'll take your word for it and we'll see how it goes. Gutenberg will be even bigger than WP. Is Mullenweg just hyping? Or does he actually believe his own delusional pipe? I mean, I don't know. I think that the thing is extremely like here's the thing. I think the concept and where the things were born out of, I don't know if anybody really had an issue with it. If we look back, right? Let's try to Monday morning quarterback this. If we look back where I was like just kind of getting into it, I never really had extreme experience with the classic editor and TinyMC or whatever the fuck was before us, but this makes more sense. This is more usable. Like there's a lot more to it. The trouble is the way that it's kind of like integrated, so to speak, with the rest of the thing, and the obviously all the shortcomings that people have said that there are a part of it. As far as the Gutenberg block editor situation, full site, like whatever, like that's the thing. I believe though, like even in the vision, then like it makes sense that you should have some sort of like an editor, like kind of built into WordPress. I guess there's an argument to have like CMS completely separate from like the builder. We could have a conversation about that. There are so many options to build with in WordPress. I totally get that. But to me, it's just more of like not the concept of should there be a block editor, should there be a Gutenberg type experience. It's just like how are we like we're hyping up like like weird, almost like something that's kind of like weird that's so niche. I don't know. It's a weird. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm trying to give as much benefit of doubt all around that I can. The idea is Gutenberg will be used outside of WordPress too. Well, yeah, no, 100%. I've heard that. I've seen that. Do we have examples of that? Would be my next question. I think I had an example of it. I thought it was something else like Drupal or whatever, but hopefully it is. But yeah, that's the idea. But like, what actually? Where does it go? Where are we seeing? What are we seeing those examples actually be? I'd love to continue to hear some. Derek, what's up? You're not crazy, just pragmatic. Novelty things are cool and showcase what's possible, but does it move the needle for users, clients, and customers? Yeah, I mean that's a good way to put it there. I'm not saying don't build pianos on on the block editor. I'm just saying that in a time of I would say heightened strife, slightly. It's easy to understand how people would look at that and be like, okay, seriously, can we get some great breakpoints? You know what I mean? Um, and I know again, it's not this. I don't think the dev on the piano dev was like a part of the thing. I'm just saying like it's like that's the natural reaction. I'm not even saying if it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's kind of the natural reaction that makes total sense for somebody to have. And it's just where we're at. I'm just commenting on it. You can't have mobile breakpoints, but you can have this piano. You're still WordPressing. This guy has WP in his name, and he's coming at me for talking about WP when he has a what's the word, a I can't think of the word. You're lucky. A severe AI addiction, and he's coming at me. This guy. WP Minute tutorials. The idea of Gutenberg is great. You need to keep in mind that WP always was backwards compatible. It's not an easy thing to achieve. I totally get that. And that's a whole nother conversation that I've not been fully persuaded one way or the other, but my current hypothesis is that I don't like that. Like, I think that that causes more harm than good after a certain amount of time. And I think 20 years is kind of brushing up against that time in technology. That's my personal opinion right now with limited dev experience, a lot of real world experience, just in general, like using things. I'm not asserting anything here. Okay. That's a hypothesis that I'm happy to be proven one way or the other on, or persuaded one way or the other on. But what I'm saying is that I don't think that every single technology has existed like been fully compatible for its entire life, especially over that whole time horizon, is just my thought process. I think places like Microsoft, well, I don't even know Microsoft. I think there was like a joke. I feel like we've had this conversation slightly before, and Microsoft is like always trying to be backwards compatible, and it's a mess. Um, that is kind of what I'm like my process on that though. It's like there is so much that is a part of that I don't, it's an admirable goal. It's an admirable mission. I just don't think it's practical. And I actually think that as time goes on, it gets less and less important. Like, I'm not saying, oh, you have to have what are you on? 6.7, right? I'm not saying you have to have like, oh, if you don't have 6.5 installed, everything's going to break. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like going so far back on everything being like, I feel like it's a real issue. I'd have to talk to more developers to be like, kind of like, oh, is that a good thing, a bad thing? I just don't know if that, I feel like that causes, at a certain point in time, that causes more harm than good. I don't know. Because how many of those websites, as an unfounded statement here, general question, how many of those websites that are, like benefiting from full backwards compatibility to whatever time are actually being utilized? You know what I mean? How if we turned a switch right now and we said, all right, you know what, we're making WordPress 2.0 and we're just going to support everything behind WordPress 1.0 for a few years or something like that. Like, what would that actually be like? I don't know if that's thought about at all. Probably should ask that question next time I have somebody of influence to ask that question to. Don't try to make sense of that nonsense. I don't remember what that was in reference to, but unfortunately, I try to make sense of all nonsense. WP stands for word processor. He's doing tutorial on how to build website with Word. Trust me. You know what? Funny story about that. I was actually probably one of the first types of websites that I ever built was back in like grade school or something. And I remember just like having a Word document, and I can't remember how the hell you did it, but you like turned it into a Word page or like a web page. It's kind of funny. Haven't done that in a while. What's up, Lee? Morning. What are your thoughts about this? DSR in the 2025 theme notes. This feature introduces a new UI for connecting blocks to custom fields. Your clients will love you as if they didn't already. Is Matt speaking to agencies with this statement? Oh, that's a good question. Let me go there. 2025 theme notes. Let me read that. Oh, look at this! Look at this video from WP Minute Tutorials. Wow, I thought this guy was all in on AI. What happened? That's crazy. Here you go. Maybe you guys should watch this. You're welcome. Oh, I don't know what kind of link that was, but hopefully it gets you there. It actually might bring that up in the Google search thing. I apologize. Is it this one? Let's see what we got here. Should we search for that? What do we got? Love. I'm sure that's only... No? Where are we finding that at? Is that in here? Or is that in a different... Well, this is, I guess, the blog post. Is this not the release notes? I'm going to be honest with you. I've never been here. I've never looked at the release notes. Only when WP Minute Tutorials posts videos, and then I watch them. Well, maybe it's in the video. Let's go check out.
Welcome back to the channel.
Whoa. Easy there, Matt.
Welcome back to the channel.
Easy, Matt. Easy. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but... Did you put the release notes in here, bud? Jesus. What is this, amateur hour? Here you go, guys. Go watch this video. Release notes. Let me find that. 2025 release notes. Oh, is that it? Oh, I see. Rollins. Can I click this? What the... Wow, that's a weird UI on that thing. Ah, there it is. I see it. Okay. Thank you. This guy's waving. Yeah, I can't even share that, bro. Sorry. All right. Okay, we're there. Rollins. Nice. All right. All right. Let's go down to that section there. Love. Okay, what did I just do? Love. There we go. Whoa. Right there. All right, lovely. So connect blocks and custom fields with no hassle or code. And let me go back here. There we go. And then streamline way to create dynamic content. This feature introduces a new UI for connecting blocks to custom fields, putting control dynamic content block in a link. Block. Your clients will love you as if they... I mean, okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea of anything I'm about to say here. So take it all with a grain of salt. I would have to assume that Matt Mullenweg doesn't write this. That is my best guess. If Matt Mullenweg does write this, totally different conversation. And I'm kind of concerned that he's writing release docs. Just like from a grand vision type of thing. I feel like somebody else could write this. AI could write this. AI might have written this. I don't fucking know. I mean, I would have bad AI written it. So, how do I, regardless of who wrote this on the release notes here, how do I feel about it? I actually love the concept. I mean, I love dynamic data. You guys know me, wpdynamicdata.co. Go there. Actually got some really, really nice reviews recently from people. Literally, somebody said it changed their life. So I'm going to write that somewhere on my website because that's amazing. But this, I mean, I don't know who wrote it. Like I said, if AI wrote it, it makes total sense. If somebody wrote this in here, it's actually kind of really surprising to me. I have not looked at every other release doc thing. I don't know if they ever say anything about like clients, but that would be a really interesting thought exercise, or like an actual just research purposes to see like, has the language ever been like this in any of the release docs? I just feel like I don't know if it is or not. The concept of this though is great. I think that more of this should continue to come to core. Just me being a dynamic data advocate on dynamic content in general, like just on how you can do things. I haven't played around with this implementation yet of this, so there's probably some things there. But yeah, I mean it's not. I don't know. It's not surprising that this well, what's the right word? It's not surprising in the sense because somebody like me, possibly a lot of you guys, like we already use this. We already use these types of features. We just don't use it like this because it wasn't there before. But yeah, I mean, I think what was the actual question Lee had there? Is Matt speaking to agency? I don't think I don't know if Matt's speaking at all, but I would be interested to know if I would be interested to know. I don't have an answer for you because I didn't write this. I would be very interested to know, and whoever did write this, is there like authors on these? Um, he actually does write these. Does he really write these? If he does, if that might change the thing entirely. If he does write these, I mean, he's on this, right? I don't know. Oh, do we have to assume now that he wrote it? I don't know. We're playing crazy. We're playing crazy. What's it called? Speculative games here. But whoever wrote this, assuming it's Matt or assuming someone else, I'm surprised that it says clients. Personally, I've never seen it before. It probably does exist somewhere else. I haven't seen it heavily in there. I've never seen that as the messaging. Would I be surprised though if would I be surprised given all the timing and everything like that if this was the case? Actually, no. I think that this is the right thing to say, kind of, because I do think that there's a lot of people that would, when you get to this level of messing around with like content in WordPress in general, I think you're probably, if you know dynamic data and you know dynamic content, you can understand that you are by definition further than so many people in like the WordPress space because there's a lot of people that just do it because they just want to have a website up or they just want to create a blog or something like that. If you can wrap your head around this level and you're starting to dip your toes into like the WP dynamicdata.co realm of things, I know this is probably a light version of that, but like, you know, and you can connect blocks and do different things like that, you're probably intermediate at least. And you're probably thinking about maybe you don't have clients, but you're probably thinking about like, oh, I could do this again for myself or for somebody else. So actually, I don't know. I can't read minds. I don't know. Maybe we should ask him if he wrote that and if that's what he meant. But just to answer the question extremely simply, is he talking to agencies? Well, you know, agencies and maybe freelancers, if you want to get specific, they have clients. You know what I mean? You know, Sally Moe with her blog does not normally have clients, so to speak. You know, I don't know. That's my thoughts. I don't know. There's a couple new. Let me see here. I'm gonna go out of order here because I think we're talking about this because I talked a lot about that. He's not been addressing the needs of agencies with Gutenberg, lack of classes, etc. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that's kind of like the main audience. I think that there's been a lot of people have kind of said that, put that together. I don't. I'm still mixed on it. I don't know if the question would be. Let's assume that's the case. The question would be, it's a little more complicated than that. Let's start there. It's more complicated because like if you here's a problem. Okay, here I'll give you the problem, as I understand it. We collectively are in the middle. Okay, and the ends are being served, but the middle isn't being served. This is very, very normal. Okay, and like in a lot of in a lot of different industries I've seen, it's like very normal that the middle is kind of no man's land sometimes, right? If you're a complete noob and you're an average person, that's not derogatory. If you're just like a complete new person to work to like WordPress and things like that, I've heard mostly like reasonable uh, feedback from the people that often interface with new users to WordPress that they're like, oh yeah, they can get it when we tell them. It's probably because they don't know anything else. Like they don't know another building tool, or they've maybe played around with something, and like it can come naturally for people that just like if you walk in somewhere, if you walk into a new building and somebody tells you where everything is, you have no previous knowledge of where things are. So it's like you might not know right away, but you're gonna figure out the map, right? You know what I mean? So in that's kind of one way that I would, kind of compare that for like average WordPress users, like brand new, fresh WordPress users. The other end of the spectrum, we can't forget about this because there are really good developers and agencies in this world that are taking what like WordPress and Gutenberg have given them and they are expanding on it to the nth degree because they have software developers, they have teams, they have all that sort of stuff, and they are, doing all sorts of shit that I don't understand. I could ask Claude, but I don't really understand how to do. Like curate a beautiful experience inside of the Gutenberg editor and all that sort of stuff. I'm talking not using UI based tools. Okay, I'm talking in VS Code doing that sort of stuff. Now, you collectively, people that are kind of like in, I would say like kind of similar to me, so to speak, people that watch Kevin, people watch Brendan, like we're kind of like in that middle, so to speak. I'm generalizing, but like the middle is the part that is like, again, kind of no man's land because we're further along in our journey than the new people. We may have had previous experiences in like other tools because those other tools are for profit and they want to absolutely make a ton of money and make the best product, like an Elementor, a Bricks, a Divi, like whatever. Okay, they all are like better, so to speak, and more built specifically for us. But we're not at the, most of us, again generalizing, the development level where we can go into VS Code and create an experience with the tools that are given to us at core. This is not, I'm not saying anything new here. I'm just kind of trying to explain it in a more, I don't know, robust way, I guess, maybe than I hear it in sound bites sometimes. And that is literally it. We're just in the middle. And this is again where I kind of try to get a little empathetic. I don't want to shit on WordPress and the people that work so hard on it because it is very difficult to build a product for all of those people. I still do think that there's a slightly better way to do that, but then you have to go back to the fact of like maybe that's not the goal. And then if we don't agree with the goal, then it's like why are we here anyway? And I'm not saying we should leave. I'm just saying like we have to go through those progressions to actually get to the answer that we should arrive at. You can't just like jump to something, okay? And because I'm not disagreeing with all these things. Like I'm not disagreeing with the fact that like they haven't been thinking about agencies and all that sort of stuff. I tend to agree with that. It's just maybe that's not like the goal. Maybe it's not the goal now. Maybe it will be in the future. Maybe it never will be. Like we don't necessarily know that. I would like to see more questions asked and not just more questions, but more direct answers to those questions. And if I get the chance to do those, I will do that. But that's kind of the way that I move through that, progression of understanding all those types of things. But yeah, that was a long-winded way to say. I don't know if Matt Mullenweg wrote that statement specifically, but it is kind of encouraging to see that, But I would also say, don't get your hopes up. You know what I mean? Like don't get super excited just because you saw the word clients. But that's a great insight though. I appreciate you sharing that. What do we got here? Yeah, I know. Is WordPress is for everyone but not us. Yeah, I don't love that. I don't love the messaging there. I think it could be better. I think that the poetic the how do I put this? The poetic justice, so to speak, or whatever the minutia is there is everyone meaning anyone, but they didn't say anyone. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what it really should be. WordPress is for anyone. I think when we hear everyone, we take it. We're reading that the way it is. I think most of us are reading that in the way that it's written, interpreting it the way that it's written, but then it's actually meant a little differently. But that said, again, try to go back and forth. Like it is for everyone. Like the whole WordPress thing, the ecosystem WordPress can be for everyone. Like we're all in WordPress, right? So it is kind of for everyone. It doesn't say WordPress core or Gutenberg is for everyone. That would be another conversation to have. So I don't know. This is all nuanced. I don't have any real answers for you guys. I'm just trying to give you some thoughts to dwell on. We got Nick here. Will new changes in ACF keep copying into secure fields, or will these plugins develop different direction right now? You know what? That's a great question. Let's find out. The only way I know how to do this is to go to the changelog maybe for the free version, and then I think that's the free version. And then the changelog for this, and I will. This is gonna be real weird. This is gonna be trippy if this is how this works. So let's take a look. We have SCF, everyone's favorite plugin, and then we have advanced custom fields. Is this the pro version? Does it matter? ACF's weird, right? Because it gets rid of the free version. Oh, okay, so it's his free release only. Okay, this is a weird change. Like I don't like it when they do it all in. I don't really like it when they do it all in one. Personally, it's a little confusing to read. But all right, so 6.3.10.2. It's a good question. So 6.3.10.2. What is this one? 6.3.10.2. 3.9. Okay, so already off the bat, I'm seeing just a little bit of difference. Was this the one? Where's the one where they decided to? Oh, this is the fork down here. 3.6.2, 3.6.3.2. Okay, so yeah, no, I think that they might do that, but they're not like follow. It doesn't look like they're following the exact same changelog, which is actually kind of funny. Yeah, I wouldn't. Wait, setting a meta box callback enhancement close. I'm totally guessing here. I don't know how any of this works. I don't know if there's some sort of like thing that they've worked out at all where like they will do some of the stuff. I don't know what's going on. Some of these things look similar, like this one and this one. Like there's four here and there's 5 here. Like it doesn't look like this one. No, that one did. Okay, so this one. Okay, obviously. Okay, obviously they didn't do that one. So yeah, so this one is like an extra one in 6.3.10. And 6.3.9 is there. ACF field. I'm going to say it looks like they're still stealing some of the updates. Some of them. But it looks like they missed this one. I don't know. I don't know, dude. This is weird. I don't know. It's such a weird situation. It's so gross. I hope anybody that's left a 1-star review here recently. Yeah, I hope if this ever gets resolved, they can get all these reviews out of here because that's unfortunate. I don't personally use ACF. I use Jet Engine more than I use ACF, but ACF is amazing. Like it gave everybody the option to do those types of things, just like for free. You know, Jet Engine's a paid tool, but there's a lot of things in there. But I have ACF Pro. I just use Jet Engine more, but I have no qualms with. It's a great plugin. I mean, it's empowered so many people to do really cool things. So that's a little unfortunate. But that's a good question, Nick. Hopefully that somewhat answered that, even though I don't have real specific answers. They're putting polls on YouTube to get a feel for who is using them, what content would like to see, and what level you feel you are. Are we saying yeah, I should do that? I mean, I'll definitely do that. He's not addressing the lack of classic. We talked about that. So I think there's definitely more emphasis on devs and in turn probably agencies. That would be great. Oh, you're saying they're putting polls. Yeah. Okay. So are we talking about Jamie? Are we talking about Jamie? Maybe Jamie on the WordPress and the WordPress team. Let me go look at that. This is interesting. I see what you're saying. Okay. There we go. Right here. So yeah, over on the WordPress thing. So what's your WordPress skill level? Pro. Would you like us to do a live stream on showing how to use block bindings to display custom fields in Gutenberg? Yeah. That's a layup there, right there. Just say no. Like who would say no to that? I mean, somebody said no to that, but that's funny. I like that. That's an engagement. That's an engagement play right there. What kind of would you like to drink water today? No. What kind of content would you prefer us to make? Beginners, agency content. Okay. So we got one here. Interesting. See, like this is super telling though, and I think I'm sure this is Jamie's doing because he's very good at this. This is this is super interesting. Honestly, if you want to learn more about the in between the lines and stuff, again, smallish sample size or what have you, but that's funny. I mean, well, okay. There's a couple things here though. I'm gonna go meta again because I love going meta. The agency content thing is when people read that, if they're on like a spectrum of technical to business, if they're further on the technical side, which is probably most people that follow WordPress on here that this got served to, they are probably going to think agency means like how to run an agency. They're going to immediately think like Alex Hermosi or like, like some sort of business weird shit that they're not interested in. So that's probably why the level of people, the archetypes of people that are here is developers and they're beginners and then some designers. I mean, this actually makes perfect sense to how I would think this is laid out on this channel specifically, because up until very recently, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these videos, but they were all like the only reason you would subscribe to this is if you were like a developer or like highly technical or something like that, or maybe a beginner too, because you're just like, oh, WordPress, I want to use WordPress and I subscribe. It makes total sense to me. Um, and I mean, it brings up a larger conversation. Like, I mean, if nobody cares about agency content, should they put out agency content? Here's the real rub, though. Okay, the real rub with this. The trouble is that agency content to some people is going to mean different stuff to other people. When we say agency content, we probably don't mean just the business. We probably mean where the business intersects with the technology. At least that's kind of where I try to stay, because you can't really have an agency without both. You know what I mean? Like that's the part that's like a little, that should have said business content if they actually meant agency content, in my opinion. But they wouldn't put business content, obviously. But that's the thing, is like there's another piece to the whole like the middle, is that there's like the spectrum of technical to business and that type of thing. And if you're right in the middle, again, in the middle of that spectrum where you're business and technical, then you're kind of like dipping into both sides, and you need to know both sides and you're interested in both sides. But then you come over to like a WordPress, YouTube channel a year or two ago, and you're like, this is all dev stuff that I don't care about, because I can't go that far to the tech side, just like I can't go that far to the business side. It's a weird spot. The middle is always weird, apparently. That's what we're learning here today. So, but that's another good insight there. Appreciate you guys pointing out the polls. Where are we at here? Yeah, still surprised about the agencies. I don't know. Apparently, maybe we'll see. We'll see what that's going to happen. I think it's going to change. Yep, we'll see. Middle class problems, right? That's it. The middle, webmasters. Yep, all the middle. Middle's treacherous. It's just like in war, dude. You got to be in one of the trenches. You can't be in no man's land. Talked about that. There should be WordPress Pro with agency licensing. That's an interesting concept. We got to talk to the WP Minute tutorials and the WP Minute podcast about that. My instant reaction to those types of conversations of like, I'm not sure, obviously that's just one line. I'm not sure what we mean by that, but like if we're talking about like a paid situation, I actually don't hate it. I think here's my problem. This is more meta, but I think my problem is, at least me, I feel like when something is free, you have no leverage. And when you're paying for something, then you start to have leverage over like maybe where it goes, or you at least have something to be like, okay, I will stop using this because I'm going to stop paying for it. Now there's a difference there. I mean, obviously again, I said before earlier today, I said I'm extremely grateful for like the WordPress project and giving that like everything for free. But if we're talking about, there's a difference though, and this is the thing that hurts, and like kind of like, hurts, I think, my brain and a lot of our brains, is that we're used to having a problem, because we're in the middle agency class, right? We have a problem. We need to solve the problem. We're probably going to buy something to solve the problem, and it's going to solve our problem or it's not going to solve our problem. If it solves our problem, we're going to continue to pay for it because it's helping us. If it doesn't, then we're going to not pay for it and we're going to get something else. And when you have WordPress and you just have a free thing that is great for every, like the world, it's good for the world. But then you have people that are trying to make money off the thing and they're being, for X, Y, or Z reason, like hung up from that. And they can't just be like, listen, it's almost like this. Hey, WordPress, I'm making money from your tool. I'm very happy that you're giving me this for free. Here's the thing though, I have X, Y, and Z that are really hurting me. Like they're actually physically paining me because I can't do them, or this is just making it harder or whatever. I would love to pay you money to like actually do those things. Now there is ways you can do this. I mean, like I guess you could just sponsor somebody to create something, to like maybe I don't know if this is possible. I don't think this one would be possible, but as an example, I really want break. This is the go-to. I really want breakpoints. Hey, John Doe, developer, whatever. I will pay you money to go into the WordPress code base and develop the breakpoints. Now, you can't just develop that right into WordPress, but I'm saying like you develop it. I think this has already been done though. I would be shocked if this hasn't been done, but it hasn't been adopted, which is the problem. Okay. But you sponsor somebody to do it, right? And then but the problem is like it might not get implemented, and then that's the issue, and that's like the rub of the whole thing there. But I don't know, the pro licensing thing, I don't know. I would definitely comment on it if there was ever an option for it. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thought process. Close and add field is a feature copy that was actually requested by me a year ago in ACF Pro. Oh, interesting. Sweet. That's funny and disturbing at the same time. If we're talking about that maybe. No, that was WordPress official YouTube channel. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yep. This is it. They look at every night through the same prism. This is it. They look at everything through the same prism. Yeah, we're talking about that, so makes sense. No, yeah, I don't think they would go for business content either. I'm just saying like that's like we were talking about earlier. I think there's something there that's like kind of we we say agency, they say some like they hear it differently. I feel like, and by they I just mean like anybody that's like kind of in that the WordPress just the people that would like watch the channel or like kind of be a part of that. It's like we're not talking about like hey how to LTV, CAC ratios, whatever the fuck. Like we're just talking about like how do you balance the technical aspect and the business aspect of a WordPress agency would be somewhere that I would start. Pay to get features developed for agencies and break out from core features. So it would be like a paid fork. Another way would be to open marketplace for paid plugins and take a cut from it to sustain the more rapid development in the core. Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely the whole marketplace thing too. Like I've not thought incredibly deeply into that type of thing, but people, platforms, and everything like that need to continue to make money, and I think that there's ways to continue to make money in many different industries and spaces and all that sort of stuff. There's many different ways to do that while serving your customers. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times the reason we buy shit is because it's making our life better. It's not just because we're, the people are just trying to like make us spend money. And I think that there would be some room for that. I don't know if that aligns with the vision at all, though. That's the problem. Nick, thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah. So I don't know where we're at, guys. I think I don't know. I think it's an interesting time to be in WordPress. I hope that there's a little bit more of a. I think I'm actually somewhat optimistic on the content side moving the needle a little bit in perception of WordPress. Jamie is a very good YouTuber. Like he knows his stuff. I know he eats, breathes, and sleeps that stuff. So I think that him being on the team, I think is going to boost like engagement and interest in kind of like just again, as an example, like WordPress, YouTube, but I'm thinking a little bigger. I'm hypothesizing here. I think there's an opportunity there to bring more people in that could be beneficial for like just the numbers, I guess, in general for WordPress, but also could be depending on how it goes, could be a good opportunity to get more people in, and then not only in but like thinking about WordPress as an actual viable tool to use to make money building websites for people, as opposed to what we're kind of seeing right now, which is a heavy emphasis on all of these other private tools. It is definitely going up. It is not close to the market share, but it is not going to stop because it is so easy to create that stuff now. Well, I'm not saying it's so easy to create Framer or Shopify, but it is easier to create those things now than it was before. And it is easy to market those types of things against something like a WordPress because they just go to easy. Okay. There is absolutely, whether we like it or not, a human nature condition and effect and just a phenomenon that we all want everything to be easier. We want everything to be extremely effective, extremely profitable, and extremely easy. And like fast, cheap. What is it? Fast, cheap, and what is it? Fast, cheap. There's another one. Why am I blanking? Why am I blanking? Cheap, fast, and whatever. But like those, if we could have those three things, then you know, and everybody wants that, and they're like trying to create that with SaaS products and all sorts of stuff, and it's just human nature. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Oh, cheap, fast, and good. What the fuck am I talking about? Yeah, cheap, fast, and good. Quality or whatever. And that those are the three things that like have driven as an agency people, probably a lot of us, right? Like our clients always want that, and we tell them, oh, you can only have two, buddy. Okay, and they and that's just kind of, I feel like, the same thing in the software dev product world, the SaaS world. And we'll see how it continues to evolve because I don't have a crystal ball, but I can definitely see how people like want to go those routes because of what they're able to achieve with those tools, the money that they're able to make or whatever. And I think that there's still a huge opportunity, obviously, in WordPress. I'm not like pessimistic to the point where I'm like going to leave. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just always trying to like think more in meta terms because I don't know, that's what I like to do. I don't know what to tell you. Good, fast, cheap. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was totally blanking on that. I look forward to playing this from the beginning. I've got to remember to block out Tuesday, Thursdays. Appreciate that, Peter. I appreciate that. I'm gonna do something on my website where you can just click a button and you can put it in there recurringly. That'd be great. I'm gonna try to do that. Yeah. So I don't know, guys. This has been a great conversation. I really appreciate all you guys' insights and everything like that. I think that we are in an interesting spot for sure. Maybe more. I don't know how to say it. I wouldn't call it dire, but I'd say on a scale, it's the most dire, but it's nowhere near like the end of the scale. Um, just based on everything that's going on. But I'm not saying anything's gonna happen. I'm just always looking at it and trying to understand the landscape of it. Really, again, I'm gonna be honest with you. It is mostly, I'm doing it publicly, but it's mostly like it's kind of self-serving. Like I want to make sure that like I'm not putting, like I said earlier, all my eggs in one basket. And I'm just sharing that with you guys because I don't think you should put all your eggs in one basket. And again, it's not saying that go build Wix websites tomorrow. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I like to have an ear to the ground and try to like be a little bit there. And I know that a lot of us can't be in that all the time. Fortunately, I'm kind of carving out a way to do that. So hopefully I can be a little bit of an hour and a half, 2 hour a week mouthpiece for that. And we can always like go back and forth. There's other people doing great work obviously as well. So don't let it consume you. I would always say that too. It's not like the end of the world. Don't let it consume you, but it is something that I think we should always just kind of have our ear to the ground to some degree to see what's going on. I genuinely think we talked a lot about business. We're a lot of agency minded people. Like I think that is the business responsible thing to do. You know what I mean? Like if you're using tools and you're using things to build your business, You don't want one thing to end up just like if you had a process in your business, it was all relying on like one specific person or whatever, and they left. That's the same type of thing. You just want to try to mitigate risk as much as possible, mitigate your headaches, mitigate your stress. And, these aren't these aren't easy conversations to ever have. They're not necessarily always fun, but I think a lot of times they are necessary. That would be my thought there. Look at what's happening in SaaS with big players like Google, Adobe, Figma. There's always drama when change takes place. Yeah, there's definitely always drama. Nobody really loves change, I think, inherently. But I will say, though, I say all this stuff again. I'm going back to last week, even though today was like all about, the stuff that we, the WordPress realm. You may not agree with this, and that's totally fine. But if we look just back at how the world has changed, nobody thought in 1990, and I was born in 96, okay? Nobody thought in 1990 that we were going to be here where we're at today. And look how fast that moved. You know what I mean? That's one lifetime. People are going to see both. I'm going to see both. Like we're going to see that the incredible change to the internet age and where everybody's connected. Think about it, in 19 I don't know, 60 or whatever, like whenever like my parents were born, like in that era, could you even we're off topic here slightly, but could you even like talk to somebody on the other side of the world? Like I know you had phones and shit, but I'm saying like pick up your phone and like look at somebody in like literally the other side of the globe. Just not even fathomable. Okay, we can't even fathom where we're going to be in 30 years. And what I'm saying is like that's why I'm always trying to think, what are we doing right now? And like where are we kind of going a little bit. So this transcends WordPress for sure. Maybe WordPress is here in 30 years. I mean, I hope so. I don't think it could sustain exactly how it is, but I hope so. I hope just in general because I'm slightly attached to it, but things are going to change, and drama is going to affect that change. Just technology is going to affect that change, and I just like to try to not let it completely. I'm trying to not let it completely pass me by and like totally miss any opportunities that are there. That's what I mean. So yeah. Something is huge. I think maybe WordPress. Something's huge. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go. I appreciate every single one of you guys being here. Thank you so much. Cannot tell you how much I just appreciate your engagement and literally tuning in. Thank you. Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. Mark it on your calendar. And we'll be back here. More videos. Last thing, real quick. More videos coming because I need to dive into the video thing. Because just as a random thing, if you're still sticking around, these lives are incredible, but they do not drive like any traffic whatsoever really to like your channel on a YouTube thing. It's actually kind of funny. I don't know what the algorithm is with lives, but I think they don't really recommend too heavily like after they're live. Not like they do with videos, and also videos are more topical. So I am not, as you guys know, a very like super concise packaged person when it comes to these videos. I'm doing my damnedest to try to keep like specific topic videos and create those and do more of that. So the last like week, I've put up more videos than I have probably in the last few months. So if you are interested in any of those, definitely go check them out. And more to come. More to come. So yeah. Last couple comments here. Derek said, even when I was a kid, I had to use prepaid calling card to pay a phone to reschedule a flight when I was stuck in the airport. Crazy. Yeah. Crazy. Curtis, you have a great day as well, man. Andrea.